right, kids, good morning. Welcome to another exciting episode of the original Red Pill Show. Today is Hump Day. It's Hump Day. Hey, Mike, guess what day it is? Oops. It's my cord don't work day. Again. Welcome to another exciting episode of the original Red Pill Show. Today is Wednesday, January 8th, 2020. Believe it or not, this show, for entertainment and educational purposes only, please use at your own risk. I have some phlegm in my throat. Must have been from last night. Excuse me. This show is copyrighted by moi. No part of it can be reused, rebroadcasted in any way, shape, or form. Not by written consent, finally. This show is opinionated. Under no circumstances whatsoever. God, I'm sure. Should opinions be taken as advice if you are seeking professional advice? Don't look here. We strongly encourage you to hire a license if required person in his or her field there, old Tommy. Hey, damn it, my cord. Hey, man. No. That's his name. Thought we killed that guy. His wife still here? Okay. Broadcasting live from the wonderful town where, not really the town, the city and thereabouts, geographically area, have all the nukes we need to blow the shit out of Iran. Of course. We're ground zero. So I'm sure a few will be lobbed over here too. Hopefully not. But I'll be vaporized and I really don't fucking care. I mean, I do care, but I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Hopefully that doesn't happen, but we'll see. The world is a mess right now. And I really don't want to get into it, but there's other things to talk about, which will be, hopefully, everything's working. Is everything fluxing? Is the flux capacitor fluxing? Is the video working? I don't like Windows. It changes shit on its own. Really? Why do I have to change my sound settings every single time? Should save it. I need a Macintosh. I need an Apple. Not that I want one, but I don't like this aggravating stuff. Okay, so today we are going to talk about one of the few times I actually have a topic, many topics. It's going to be about marijuana, hemp, CBD oil, and whatever. Now, I will be the first to admit I don't know a lot about this stuff. But I keep hearing, seeing people sharing stories share in our neighborhood on Facebook saying how CBD oil has drastically changed people's lives for, I don't know, inflammation, allegedly, epilepsy, autism, just a bunch of shit. I had a sheet from the local CBD oil place, whatever, in Loveland, and it just had bullet points of all kinds of symptoms, autoimmune stuff, or whatever you have, and CBD oil seems to be the magic pill, I guess. I don't know. But Melissa said she's going to talk about this. Do you want to call in now, Melissa? That'd be great. Yes. And could you work Tuesday and maybe Sunday and Monday? Yeah. Hello. Is everything working here? Probably not. Let's see. Who messaged me? Good what? What? Google says not available. What? Then let me close this. See what I mean? Well, it's open right here. I don't know why the fuck it says that. Oh, this computer. Me and this computer are not going to have a very long relationship. Who the fuck is this? I get the weirdest phone calls and messages here. Gmail. La la la. Bum bum bum. Just once. I wish shit worked. 815-290-0912. That's working now. I paid my bill.
Apparently.
Yeah. Even though it's free. What the hell? What is wrong with these computers?
Actually, Alicia warned me that there's some major solar flare stuff going on that is probably going to affect us.
I saw that.
So that's probably what it is.
Maybe that's what caused the earthquakes in Iran instead of the earthquake machine that doesn't exist. Who knows? And HARP and all that other crap. What do you want to talk about? So good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm good. You sound a little more...
Other than having tech issues.
Whatever. You know, it's par for the course. There's just no way to go through a show without something happening. So
it's computer.
Well, yeah, but there's a lot of stuff going on, honestly.
Yeah.
And I don't think people get it, but
yeah, definitely.
It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts that go into these shows.
Yep, there is, and it's like a clock, mechanical clock, and if one part or a mousetrap, one part doesn't work, the whole thing goes to hell. Then you got to recover.
That's why we have all kinds of backups.
Yeah, and I've had, and no offense to anybody, because it's like, well, I'm not going to, you're not going to interview me because you talk bad about people and whatever. It's like, no, not really, because I'm only going to say something if somebody schedules an interview with me and they totally blow you off, which has only happened once with me. So not only do you have the technical crap and then deal with that, then, okay, you get it all set up, you're waiting for your guest to call, and they never even fucking call. And you're like...
Oh, that's just rude.
Okay, any minute. Killing time, whatever. And then, I don't know, I would say 5 to 10 minutes definitely is a reasonable time. It's like, I guess they're not coming. Oh, I forgot to do my hair. I'm sorry, I forgot. Whatever. Okay, I'm done. I'm done ranting.
Okay.
It's very rude and unprofessional.
It is. It is very rude and unprofessional.
Yeah.
I agree.
So, but whatever.
If you say you're going to do something, do it.
Huh?
If you say you're going to do something, do it.
Well, yeah, and at least, or say, you know what, I can't make it. My dog ate my homework, or my phone blew up, or fucking whatever. Just let me know, So,
Right.
but okay. So is everything working? Because on the video thing,
It seems to be.
the default video or the default audio was I don't know what it was, but it wasn't what it should have been, so I had to change that. So.
But yes, it does seem to be working this morning.
Yay! I get an 8 for today. Thank you. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna talk about something that I really, without sounding like an asshole, something I really don't know a lot about, and I want to. I won't pretend that I do. So there's some things I don't believe in. Fake it till you make it. And talking about something you know nothing about is not one of them. If I don't know, I will say I don't know. And that is about marijuana. Hang on a minute. Okay, hang on. I just got to get in the mood for this conversation, man. We are in Colorado. Okay. Marijuana, hemp, and CBD oil. So this will be kind of like your show now, which I don't have no problem with being, and I'll be the co-host and whatever. But this is something that I don't know anything about. The marijuana thing, I personally could take it or leave it, and actually left it. I know it helps some people a lot, especially with medicinal purposes and whatever. Hemp is something I know a little bit more about, and how that industry got blackballed by the textile cotton industry and associated with pot, marijuana, and got it banned because everybody thinks you can smoke hemp and get high. And then the CBD issue, which is confusing sometimes because I guess from what I know, and this is where you can take it from, but the CBD oil is like a derivative from processing from hemp and or pot, or I don't know, but most people think, and there can be little traces of THC in it, but it's non-psychoactive or psycho, whatever you call it, and 9 times out of 10, if it's good grade, it should not have any traces of THC in it, so you don't get in trouble at work.
Well, even now, okay, there is a clarification there. Anything that is full spectrum will have trace amounts of THC. Anything that is made from an isolate will not. Isolate is where you get your zeros.
Where you get your what?
Where you get your 0% THC.
Oh, 0.0% THC.
Is only from isolate.
Isolates.
Anything that is full spectrum will have some traces of it. That's why it's always recommended that if you have randoms or you are doing something that you have to have a drug test, it's always recommended that you do isolate.
All right, hang on. We're going to pause here for all the children in the classroom. Now go get your pen and your pencil and your paper and sit at your desk and shut up and listen to the teacher. Miss Melissa is going to educate us on marijuana, and you don't smoke it just to get laid, and hemp and CBD oil. So sit down and shut up and pay attention. Thank you. Okay, there you go. Now you can talk.
Okay, and we're going to start this with a disclaimer, just so
yes,
if anybody's listening, we don't get held liable. And this is just a standard one that I'm actually reading off of one of my websites.
Go ahead, please.
The statements made regarding these products or topics have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. The efficacy of these products has not been confirmed by FDA-approved research. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. All information presented here is not meant to be a substitute for or alternative for to information from your healthcare practitioners. Please consult your healthcare professional about potential interactions or possible complications before using any kinds of products that are marijuana, hemp, CBD. The Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic. Oh, well, that was from a cosmetic site, but they do require that notice on all hemp and CBD websites. So I figure I'll just protect us by reading that off, so that way we've done our due diligence there.
Yeah, and if anybody wants to take that and use it against us, and like, well, you said this and you recommended that or whatever, it's like, this is all opinions, and this is a discussion on this stuff.
Right.
And there's not a lot of people that will, to give where credit is due, Joe Rogan just talks the shit out of this stuff, and it's amazing. But he's great. He's great. I think he just had, I follow him on Instagram, and I think he just interviewed Robert Downey Jr., but the podcast isn't up yet, and I would love to hear that one. He's just him and Howard Stern are the two best interviewers on the planet. I don't care what anybody says. So I do, like them or not, it doesn't matter. They are what they are. There's one, get off track here a little bit. I was listening to Joe Rogan because I download all of his podcasts. I haven't listened to him recently, but he had Steven Tyler on there. And it's going over a little year ago. 2 years in June or thereabouts it'll be. Unbelievable interview. I mean, Steven Tyler's amazing to begin with, but there's just no holds barred. And he was talking about the music industry and drugs. I mean, it's everything you can possibly think of. And my mouth dropped. And for me to do that, that's pretty out there. And it was just amazing. And I think it was like a 2-hour interview. Phenomenal. Highly.
You need to send me a link to that because I love Steven Tyler.
Oh.
He is such an amazing person.
Oh, it was so, I mean, he was just brutally honest. And that's a great thing about podcasts and the internet. You can pretty much say whatever the fuck you want. And he did. Yeah. So it was probably argumentatively the best interview I've ever heard in my life. It was phenomenal.
I need to listen to that one.
I'm not a huge Aerosmith fan or even Steven Tyler. I mean, I take that back. I'm not. But Steven Tyler, when he was on American Idol, I loved him, and since then I've been really a big fan of him. So
yeah, I grew up with him. My kids grew up with him. Yeah.
Yep. Not one of my favorite bands, but I mean,
it's one of those that crosses generations.
Oh, absolutely. It's timeless. I mean, you could put Sweet Emotion on and play it for anybody and go, man, that's a great song.
You got everybody singing on that.
Exactly. And it doesn't matter when it was recorded or played. It's timeless. So,
yep.
I think they're right up there with Led Zeppelin, which I'm not a huge fan of them either, but definitely, again, argumentative or debatable, one of the greatest rock bands in history. There's just no doubt about it. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not a real big fan of Led Zeppelin.
No.
Obviously, I do like some of their stuff. Everybody does. But, yeah, that's one of those ones that I've always followed but never really listened to.
Well, one of the songs or the song that pops up with me that's timeless by Zeppelin is Kashmir. You can play that, and it's like, whoa. I mean, that's another timeless song, I think. But again, I'm not a huge fan of them. I don't even know if I own any of their music, but nonetheless, good stuff. So, but all right, so let's get back into this crap. What's that?
Oh, I just said I miss that old music.
Oh yeah, you know what? There's such a huge market for that because the 70s, even the 80s without all the keyboards. I mean, as most keyboards I like is probably Bon Jovi, and don't go any more than that with keyboards. Because when your keyboard takes over your guitar and melodies and stuff, it's like, no, I don't really like that too much. But there's such a huge demand, and in my opinion, I try to find music that has a high energy level. And that's missing too.
Yeah.
There's just no energy in anything anymore.
There's no heart in the music anymore.
There is a girl, though, since we're talking about this crap. There's a woman named Jackie something. And I shared... She came on Facebook Live last night. I don't know who she is. I don't know anything about her. All I know is she can play the fucking guitar. She is just crazy. Where did it go? Yeah, she was...
I wish more girls were encouraged to take up guitar.
Oh, man. And then she was showing how she writes songs and starts with the drum machine and all this kind of crap, which I need to do. Jackie Venson? Is that it? Let me see. Yeah, Jackie Venson. A woman, a guitar, and the truth. I mean, I'll just
cool.
Here, just listen to this one. This is all your fault again. And of course I was being sarcastic. You sidetracked my show. This is your fault again. Hang on a minute. Listen to her. This is a little jazzy stuff, but when she gets into the blues,
Yeah, I like it.
and listen to the drum machine. She's doing this on stage, just fucking
check
around.
with my sister.
Barefoot, I might add.
Like, how does it look? She knows. We have the same hair. So.
Think I would have said something?
And she would have said something, yeah. She doesn't let me get away with hair faux pas. She's a good sister. Welcome to Jackie Vincent Live. How you guys doing? So I'm going to play you guys a song of mine called Joy. And then we're going to have some fun. We're going to kind of open up the hood on Joy and see how it was written. So if you know this song, it might be interesting for you. If you don't know the song, I'm going to play it for you first.
I hope so. Come on, play.
Yeah. When it was me and you, you ran away and something new.
All right, so she...
To the Austin Music Awards.
I'm going to try to find the blue stuff here. That's
anyways,
sick there. The way she plays that guitar, I love blues, so I could listen to that shit all day. That is so cool. Anyway.
I miss listening to live guitar like that.
Oh, she just... You know who can play like that, too, that plays local? Is Wendy Wu.
Really?
You ever hear of her?
I've heard the name, definitely.
Yeah, she's... I think she lives close here, and she works in downtown Loveland. I know where she works. I saw her just out of happenstance one time playing like this woman, and I'm like, holy shit. I mean, like, who are you? And Wendy's so she's so humble, and she's got national recognition, and she could be whatever she'd want to be. But apparently she is who she wants to be. And she doesn't want to go mainstream. Spotify. She's on Spotify. Wendy Wu. Listen to that. Angels Laughing is my favorite song. But she can play folk stuff to the cows come home. She's kind of like, sounds like Sheryl Crow and Stevie Nicks combined with her voice.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it's just insane. And then she plays guitar like a motherfucker. Like this woman. If these two got on the same stage and traded licks, everybody would just be fucking orgasming, man. They'd be like, oh my God. Really? And the tone that this woman's got out of her.
Heart.
Huh?
The next heart.
I don't know, man, but it and Wendy can jam too. I saw her when what's this? The place they opened up with the movie theater down here in Loveland, and they had an outdoor band. They had outdoor bands every Thursday night, and she was the opening act for kicking it off for the year. And oh my God, I was like, I didn't know you could play like that. And she goes, well, no, you've never heard me with my band. Like, no shit. I mean, just, and I want to interview her, but she won't let me do this like you on the phone. She wants me to be in person, so I got to get a 2-mic mixer and buy that and go down that road so I can interview her, which I'm going to do.
Oh, you need to do that.
Oh, I will.
I
but
would love to hear you interview some of the local bands up there.
Well, quite honestly,
Good ones.
that's why I continued to do this show, because I wanted to promote and help up-and-coming bands, and I have, as far as interviewing them, and she's, not that she needs my help, but nobody knows about her, and it's like, what the fuck is going on, you know? Why aren't you everywhere? I mean, she
may not want to be.
Here, listen to this shit. No, she doesn't want to be. Here, hang on a minute. I'm going to play just a little bit of Wendy. She can get fucking pissed. She won't. She shouldn't. I'll play this, and then we'll get back into why we're really at. But no, this show, I want to promote up-and-coming bands like that. I've talked to Forever Still a couple times. Edge of Paradise, who's coming to Denver. And I interviewed Margarita Monet, the lead singer of that band. And they just released their album, Universe. And it's taken off like a bat out of hell. It's just really... And if you like really hard, crunching music, but without the lead singer screaming in your face, because she's an opera singer, and she got into rock, and she's got a beautiful voice. I
love when they do that. Oh, I love when they do that.
I'm gonna try to get her back on, but
those voice ranges.
I want to try to get her and Dave Bates, the lead guitarist from that band, back on, because I interviewed just her. And said, yeah, we'll do this again. And it's been over 2 years. But they've really taken off. And it's like, well, maybe I'm just not good enough.
We'll do it now and then show.
That'd be cool. But maybe I'm not good enough anymore. I don't know. Okay, yeah. Let's see, Wendy Woo. That's what they do. They just use you, you know. They say they love you, and they fuck your brains out, and then they leave. Okay, hang on a minute. Wendy... Whoa, hang on. I'll just play a little bit. Here, listen to this. This is just fucking phenomenal. Hang on. I claim my Fair Use Act. Fucking get pissed at me. Here we go. Oh, and it's live.
And I can hear the angels laughing, laugh so hard they almost cry, peeking through the tears of passion, making bets and rolling dice. Can you hear the angels laughing? They're playing cards of late at night, sending signs of hope and direction, and laughing when the signs aren't sighted. Well, through the tears I see a flicker, a splash of light looks in my eyes, a voice of hope, a road of compassion, a sound so loud it wakes the night. But as I stop so I can listen, a voice so faint it almost cries, I stop to hear my words for direction, and all I hear is the laughter in the night. We're laughing at the angels, laughing at you. We're laughing at the angels, we're laughing at you too. If you can never read the signs, what good does it do? We're laughing at this fate of where life might take you.
Okay, so you get it? Get the gist of that?
Oh, I like that.
She
I
is
like that.
insanely talented, and she's playing the guitar on that. I forgot this was live, and I own this, by the way. I buy my music 9 times out of 10, especially the ones I really like, because she's selling CDs and all that shit, and selling her merch or merchandise or whatever. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll buy that CD. I mean, okay, she she was playing one time, and then probably the second or third time I saw her, and she was outside in a little outdoor patio. And she was playing and dropped her pick. And she couldn't find it. And I'm like, uh-oh. And I had one. I go, here. And she goes, oh, my God, thank you. So every time I see her now before she plays, I bring her a pick. So it's kind of funny. But she is so ungodly talented. It is just... And she's even better, of course, just like everybody else, if they're not using auto-tune and sound like shit or whatever. And I mean, she sings right from the mic into the mixer, into the PA. I mean, she's freaking phenomenal. So, anyway, that's...
Yeah, I used to go to live music all the time, and
I love it.
It's so amazing to hear them live.
Yeah, actually, I think she might be playing this Thursday night at West End Lodge. West End... What the fuck is it? West End Bar? West End something. There's a East End bar, I'm going to call it, and a West End bar. And I don't know if there's associated or affiliated or whatever, but I was getting confused, but it is by direction. So, and she's going to be at the West End something. I follow him on Facebook, and she has like an open jam night, and she should be there tomorrow night. So I just might walk up there and check her out, but she's phenomenal, fucking, and so humble. But she made it clear, if you want to do this interview, you have to be there with me, and so I need a 2-mic mixer. It's like, fuck. Like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, you need to get on that, dude.
No, I will. It's just that I've been juggling this and that and everything else financially and whatever. But yeah, I'm going to start seriously shopping and looking for a good 2-mic mixer so I can do that and go from there. So that'll be something to look forward to because she said she would do it.
We'll get some advertisers in soon, and we'll be able to start buying all the hosts some new equipment that they need.
Yeah, it's without getting into this too much. It was all by trial and error with me, and what I'm using now and to take phone calls was just basically by accident, by me fucking around. And I'm sure you've done that. It's like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and then you do whatever you do, and it works, and you go, oh my God, what did I do? Don't touch it. It works. Leave it alone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, in my world, that's a regular occurrence.
Right. And that's what happened. That's why I'm scared to death. People are asking me, well, what mixer should I use, or how do you do this or do that? I said, quite honestly, I don't know. But I only need one XLR mixer mic port for what I do because it's just me. But yeah, I tried to get Wendy to do it over the phone, and she just won't do it. And that all respect to her. I think it'd be kind of cool because it'd be the first time for me interviewing somebody face to face. It'd be like a Joe Rogan thing, and that would be cool.
If we could get you the right equipment to go remote, that would be so amazing.
Well, the only problem is I have to drag this because I don't have a good laptop, and I'd have to drag my PC and take all this shit apart. Again, people that don't see it in the background of what it's really going to take to do one show. But yeah, I want to do it, and she's been more than accommodating to do it, but she's like, again, perfectly clear. So I'm gonna need 2 mics, which I have another mic, but I'm gonna need a 2-mic mixer, blah blah blah, and then configure it, set it all up, because as soon as shit you set it up and it works in your apartment, but you take it remotely and it don't work, I'm gonna be pissed.
Well, I have some thoughts on that I'm going to look into.
Really?
See if we can get you mobile. Yeah.
Well, that'd be cool. I would love it.
There's a way when it comes to technology.
I actually wanted to fall back on doing that because, to my knowledge, nobody. And I would travel. I would put all my shit in my car, or my motorcycle, or whatever, and go interview people on site because I don't really think anybody's ever. I mean, I'm sure somebody on the planet's done it, but I mean, with any type of notoriety or whatever, it would actually commit to doing it. I would love to do that. That'd be so much fun. So
I'm going to work on some tech stuff and see if we can get you mobile.
Cool. All right, so let's. We got 20 minutes left. Can we focus on? And we could talk about that. I know we keep.
Yeah.
This is fine. I don't care. This is what this show's about. Spontaneity. I don't really care. Whatever pops up, that's what we talk about. And I have ADD.
And it's not like this is the only time we can talk about
Exactly.
CBD and hemp and.
Well, that's
and
why
marijuana,
I want to
so.
break it down now, because the one that interests and fascinates me out of all of them is the CBD oil. So I guess people are
It
scared.
does.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just say people are scared to death of it because I don't want to piss hot on my drug test. So they don't want to take the chance of doing it. And I completely, totally understand that. And the last thing I want to do is talk about something and they may try it at their own decision and do their own homework and research, try it, and then piss hot and lose their job. I would feel awful about that.
Oh yeah.
So I understand
That's part of what terrifies me working in the industry, is having somebody get some product that I've built a website for, and then they go and lose their job.
Right. And I mean, regardless of.
I'm.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying I'm very selective about who I will work with because I know the requirements, and I watch a lot of CBD businesses that don't follow the rules, and that's really scary to me.
No, everybody follows the rules. There's no
With me, they do.
We don't need cops. We don't need law enforcement. Everybody's fine. Or missiles or fucking battleships. We don't need anything. Okay. So what is is there regulations that are mandated, of course, by the state? Because, I mean, let's just be perfectly clear and honest. This is a scheduled drug that is illegal by the federal government standards. So keep that in mind, too.
Well, now hemp is no longer anything derived from hemp, which is your CBD products.
Okay.
They are no longer federally illegal. As long as the THC content is at 0.3 or lower.
Well, that's what I was going to.
And that's why.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go, because I interrupted. Go.
That's why any company that you are going to get hemp or CBD from, you need to make sure that they have current testing done and make sure that current testing shows 0.3 or less.
So current testing from a third party, not their own in-house testing, like Boeing checking out their own fucking planes type of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. There's all kinds of testing facilities that will even do personal stuff. If you grow your own or make your own products, you can take them in and have your stuff tested.
All right. So
there's really no excuse.
So where does CBD oil come from? Does it come just from hemp, or does it come from pot, or does it come? Where the hell does it come from?
It comes from hemp. There's industrial grade, and then there's then the actual name of it's escaping me, but there's industrial, and then there's commercial type hemp.
Okay.
And that's where your CBDs are derived from.
So you really can't talk about
actually derived from cannabis.
You really can't talk about CBD without talking about hemp, because that's where it comes from.
Right.
Okay.
Right. They are from the same product. So.
All right. So then let's back up a little.
Hemp plants have next to no THC in them.
Yeah, next to none, but still a drug test is going to argue that. I mean, that's the thing. What's the allowable amount by employers, or if you're driving in Colorado? Because for alcohol, everybody pretty much knows that 0.08. I'm assuming that's what it was back in Illinois. Right. I'm assuming that's probably what it's here, because everybody lowered it from 0.1 to 0.08. So what is the allowable amount like in an employment drug screen, is it positive or negative? Like you're
honestly-
pregnant or you're not pregnant. So you're, you smoke pot because there is THC, or no, there's not, positive, negative, or is there a percentage? Or because drug tests that I know of, because I drug tested my guys with kits, and it was like a pregnancy test. You're either pissed hot or you didn't, and there was no percentage. But the problem with the CBD oil, or some of it is depending on, who's testing it, who's whatever, and you take it and you accidentally piss hot, and it's like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I didn't feel any psychoactive effects or something like that. Well, it doesn't matter. You pissed hot, you lose your job. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of the fear is. And that's why I always tell people, if you're worried about a drug test, then only use an isolate. Something that is made with an isolate. And isolate is, I don't know the process, and I'm not going to claim to,
right.
but isolate pulls out, it ends up with a 0% THC. And that's why they call it an isolate.
Well, just by the name, it sounds like it
yeah.
isolates things, and it sounds like it purifies it even
Right.
further. That's what it sounds like.
Right. And it's basically, like I said, I have no idea about the process,
Mm-hmm.
but you end up with a 0% THC. And your other ones, your full spectrum and things like that, can run up. They're allowed to run up to 0.3%. As long as it's under 0.3, then it's completely legal, and it shouldn't show up in a drug test.
And if it does, you're gonna pay for people's fucking income if they lose their job, right? Okay, I'm kidding.
No, because they know the risk whenever unfortunately, that's one of those things that it's buyer beware.
Right, exactly. All right, so
And-
go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that's why you make sure that you've got current testing on products that you're using.
All right, so
Always ask if a company won't provide you with the COA, the testing sheet.
Yep.
Don't buy from them because they're hiding something.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to talk from personal experience. So when I moved here, for all the shit that I went through, and then moving here, not really knowing anybody, and starting a new job and whatever, I was dealing with high levels of anxiety, but I didn't know what it was, and then I figured out what it was, and back when I was in Illinois. And for me to deal with that, I won't get on any drugs for it because my psychologist said, my friend's a psychiatrist, he can prescribe real low doses Xanax for you. I said, I ain't taking that shit. So
yeah, that's not good for
but
you.
what I did do is I was smoking almost 2 packs of cigarettes a day, which helped. But I'm not a smoker. I've never been a smoker, but I'll take that over dealing with fucking anxiety. It's a horrible, horrible condition or whatever it is to have. So,
Yeah, I know.
moving here and insisting on I don't take any drugs, although I smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day, whatever. I haven't smoked a cigarette in a year. And about a year ago, when I quit smoking for that cold turkey, I was looking into CBD oil because I kept seeing that it may help with anxiety. So I went to the local CBD oil people down the street here and asked them what's good for anxiety. And the girl says, believe it or not, this is what I use. It works great. Try it. Not a great salesperson, but whatever. And I wouldn't know what the fuck she's talking about anyway. I just hate when people go into psychobabble and try to overpower you with their knowledge and, okay, yeah, sure, that sounds good. No, I don't like that either. But she's like, I'd rather have her be honest. And she was. I use this. I have bad anxiety. It works for me. There you go. Like, okay, good enough for me.
Yeah.
So I bought it.
I'll definitely take somebody's recommendation.
Yeah. So I bought it and I tried it. And I will say that, first of all, it tasted like shit. It was horrible.
Oh, yeah. Most of them
Oh
do.
my God. It was like sucking up some really dirty oil out of your drain pan of your car after you change oil and swallowed it. It's like, this is, and I have a very high tolerance of eating stuff that tastes like crap, like supplements and protein bars and whatever. I can pretty much tolerate anything, but this stuff was just god awful. I'm like, oh my God, really? So, but I did take it and it did make a difference. But now as far as the THC content, I don't remember what it said. So here's what I'm getting at. So let's say a person like me, you know, I've heard everything from it treats and cures cancer to takes care of epilepsy and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to confirm or deny or even comment on that. I am going to comment, though, and I'm not recommending it. Do what you want. This is my opinion and experience. That I did use CBD oil. I don't anymore, but I did use it. This shit's $100 a fucking bottle. So after the first bottle,
depending on the company, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm just sharing my experience. That's all I'm. Yeah, you can find it on Amazon.com or we got CBDoil.com, whatever. I'm not saying that part. What I'm saying is my experience. So I paid $100 for it. That's a little rich for my blood right now. Starting over with absolutely nothing. In the position that I'm in, I'm not making a lot of money, so I got to watch every dollar that I spend, like most people. But I did take it. I didn't look into the stuff, and here's what I want to say: I bought it for anxiety. I paid $100 a bottle. I don't know the THC content. I didn't know anything. Whatever. I probably got lucky or not lucky. It might have had zero. It might have had a god awful amount of it. I don't know. So this is what I want to say for people in what you think in this. So I want to buy CBD oil. Let's just pretend we're all starting over. I want to buy CBD oil, Melissa. How would I go about it? What do I do it? And I want to do it for my anxiety because I hear that it's good, but I'm very concerned about the potential of it having any amounts of testable THC levels where I will lose my job. What do I do?
Number one, you look for isolate, not full spectrum. Full spectrum, like I said before, it can be up to 3.3% THC. So you're always going to have a trace. And the isolate has 0. That is a standard for what I recommend for anybody who is looking at the fact that they have to be drug tested. Better safe than sorry. Full spectrum has more in it, so it will quote unquote work better for various ailments. But the isolate will still give you the benefits, just not as wide ranged. When you're looking into companies, always, if they don't have them posted, which they should, just for convenience and trust factor, a company should have their COAs posted, and a COA is the testing result. If they don't have them posted, contact the company and ask for them. And if they're not willing to provide them, don't buy from them. Period. Otherwise, you don't know what you're getting. As far as it helping people, just like any medication, what works for one person may not work for another. And people have come to believe that it's just this miracle cure, and it doesn't work for everybody. It also, when you're using the oils, it takes a while for you to see the results. Within a couple of weeks, you'll probably start feeling a little bit of change. Within about a month is whenever you really start seeing whether or not it's going to actually help you with what you're looking to have helped. It does take time for it to start making those changes within your body. And what you end up noticing is not what it's doing or having some major shift or whatever you want to call it in whatever it is that you're trying to help. You'll start noticing things that aren't happening, like with anxiety. You'll notice you're not quite as amped when you go into that grocery store or you're going into whatever situation you're going into. I noticed whenever I started using it, and I use it as a supplement to. I'm a medical marijuana patient, so I use full blown marijuana. But when I added the CBD to it, I started noticing that I wasn't near as amped all the time, and it was a slow progression. And it's not something that you're going to notice the difference after a couple of doses. It's going to take a bit, and that's where a lot of people get really frustrated. Is they take it for like a week, and they're noticing little things, but not anything drastic enough to continue spending $50 to $100 a bottle every month. So that's where a lot of it comes in as far as people complaining about it, is a lot of them aren't on it long enough to even be able to actually get the benefit, if that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. It's kind of like, I'm not a doctor or whatever. I'll just use my experience. It's just like there's a reverse tolerance that it seems like it builds up into your body and your body adapts or processes it. And I don't know if it necessarily changes your body chemistry. I don't know exactly what the hell it does. I don't think anybody, unless you're an expert on this stuff, medical expert and doctor or whatever, or chemist, but yeah, I did notice that slowly something was changing biophysically into my biochemistry, whatever, in my body. And it did definitely calm me down, but it didn't calm me down where like I smoked a joint or drank a couple beers or took a couple shots. It was actually legitimately a mental process in my brain that brought me down from all those high anxiety levels, and I could actually process things, quote unquote, normally without reacting or freaking out with what that horrible anxiety does to people in their thinking process. It's terrible. Fucking, oh my God.
Oh, it is. It is. That's one of my major issues is anxiety issues, and all I can say is that my cannabis and CBD enable me to be able to go to a grocery store without completely losing my shit, you know.
So you have it really bad.
Yeah, let's see. A short list is severe generalized anxiety, PTSD, agoraphobic, and OCD.
Wow.
Which is why I sit behind my computer.
So would you consider yourself an introvert then?
I am an extroverted introvert.
I see.
I actually handle myself very well in public situations.
Mm-hmm.
However, my anxiety gets very, very amped.
What triggers
whenever
it?
I come home, life.
Really?
I've been like this pretty much all my life. Yeah. My therapists have always been amazed that I function as well as I do.
Really?
Because between the fibro and the anxiety issues, my adrenaline levels are always on high.
So
they call it hypervigilance.
Fibromyalgia? Fibro what? What do you have?
Yes.
Okay.
Fibromyalgia.
So you have autoimmune issues too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is why I'm a medical marijuana patient.
Got it.
I was on 16 to 20 hardcore pills a day.
Ugh.
And I did that for
fuck that.
And the last last entry on my medical records is trying MMJ, which I mean I was a pot smoker for a long time prior to diagnosis, and just didn't know I was actually treating myself. I don't drink, I don't do drugs, and my marijuana was the only thing that I've always done it. And when I quit it to get my CDL, because obviously if you have your CDL, you can't be smoking weed.
Right.
That was actually when I got diagnosed. I was bedridden within 2 months.
Wow.
So I'm definitely obviously a perfect example of how cannabis can help somebody who has various ailments.
And you don't think
Does
it's
everything.
psychosomatic or
Go
a
ahead.
placebo pill or anything? I mean, you really do feel it, can tell a difference when you use it.
Oh yes, I could not do the work that I do if I did not use my marijuana. I couldn't. It with fibromyalgia, I have cognitive memory issues as well as high levels of pain all the time, and muscle twitches and all kinds of stuff. But it calms all of that. And I actually, everybody says, oh, well, your memory's crap because you smoke weed. Well, no, actually, for somebody like me, it actually improves my memory. I can remember things whenever I smoke that 5 minutes before I smoked, I couldn't remember. So, it's all in your body chemistry and on whether or not it will benefit. And a lot of people, in my opinion, are medicating without even realizing it. I was.
So even with all the potential risks and the medical risks of using marijuana, which has been proven or not proven or whatever, it's still, you're willing to take that chance and that risk because it works for you.
Well, yeah. I mean, when I was on the 16 to 20 pills, I was a freaking zombie.
Yeah.
I could not function.
I've seen that with
One
people.
of them knocked me out for 3 days whenever I first started taking it.
Yeah, my ex-wife at the time was going through therapy alone because she had some issues to deal with, and her psychiatrist just put her on all these fucking pills and made her a zombie. And I said, you need to find, well, there was other comments too, but drugging somebody where they're a zombie, it numbs them, does not help solve any problems. And I said, you need to find a new psychiatrist or psychiatrist. And she's like, well, what do you know? You're not. I'm like, really? I go, I know enough. And you should be seeing a psychologist.
I know that you're not normal.
Yeah, I'm telling you as your husband who cares about you that this ain't doing a fucking thing for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you can't function, what's the point of the pills?
Well, on top of that, she had some things she had dealt with in her childhood, and I said, you need to find what those are out because it was so traumatic, she blocked it out. And I go, you need to find what that mental block is because it's affecting your behavior. And she goes, well, I told my psychiatrist that, and he said, you're crazy. I said, get a new fucking doctor. And she didn't.
Right?
She did.
I went through a bunch of therapists.
Yeah.
I remember the first therapist because I got really serious about my therapy. And I was bound and determined I was going to figure out a way to deal with these anxiety issues so that I can walk out of my friggin' house. And the first one, I flat out told her, I do not want any kind of pills. You need to be okay with the fact that I'm a medical marijuana patient. And instead of being okay with it, she put on my record that I'm addicted to marijuana.
On your medical record?
Yeah.
Oh,
my last therapist removed it.
Isn't that
my
sweet?
last therapist finally removed it, but yeah.
And I'll bet you any amount of money, she's never done drugs or been addicted to drugs or anything of the kind. So she's being judgmental and using her education where, well, there's 3 requirements: loss of control, continued use, and something else, compulsion to use. You have to have all three of those to be addicted to drugs. So, and if she doesn't know that, and she's not
my compulsion.
Go ahead.
My compulsion to use was feeling like a human being.
Yeah, but not a compulsion like, man, addicted people like, man, I got to have that shot of heroin, or I got to have that bottle of booze, or because it makes me feel better, and I can't cope with life unless I do that. That's the compulsion, at least how I understand it.
Right.
So you're trying to be
and
normal.
I mean, there are medical.
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, and it's like telling somebody that is on whatever pills that are, blood pressure medication.
Right.
How about that?
Right.
There's a compulsion to use that because it improves your life.
You're addicted to blood pressure medicine because it controls your blood pressure. Fuck you.
Right.
Really? People are ridiculous. But I'm sure she had no chemical dependency treatment education or experience or knowledge. And for someone just to go off the deep end like that, in my opinion, and say that you're addicted, whatever the hell she wrote, it is just totally unprofessional and wrong. And apparently so, because
and
they took it
that's
off.
Why she's a former therapist.
There you go. And that's why your current one or whatever took it off, because that's just...
Yeah.
Yeah, gee, thanks.
Yeah, she saw that is what helps me, and it does everything that all those pills did, but better, and doesn't make me to where I can't even think.
Well, in my opinion, experience... Everything in moderation: food, sex, drugs, television, the news, politics, Facebook, whatever, should all be done in moderation. And I think people realize, if they're real honest, if they're going a little bit too far into something and maybe, quote unquote, abusing or using it too much. But some don't. And then that's the true word of addiction, because they're in denial. And some can't function without it. But yeah, for somebody to say that, and you're bearing your soul, I mean, I hate getting into everything's a betrayal, but that's kind of a betrayal thing. You trusted this person and then put on your record that you're you're addicted to marijuana or fucking whatever. Wow.
Oh, when I found that out, oh man, I was pissed.
Yeah, you want to see my anger issues, bitch?
You're about to see them.
That's right. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Now, my last therapist, though, he was friggin' awesome. He totally understood the medical benefits and understood that I have chemical sensitivity, so I can't take all those pills, period. I just cannot take them. And he was totally fine with it. You know, he understood the health benefit. And one of the things that I wanted to bring up in our conversation about hemp and CBD and marijuana and all that is our society as a whole has started having more issues. Pretty much, if you look at the timing, pretty much about the same time that they made hemp and cannabis illegal. Our animals, our meat, used to eat hemp, and therefore, when we would eat their meat, some of that was transferred over to us, and we've lost that in our diet.
Just because of the diet. Just because of the genetic coding in our DNA now, because we're eating the shit, right? Or they were eating it.
Well, yeah, we have an endocannabinoid system in our brain.
Mm-hmm.
We have receptors for it, and when you take away the natural source of that, your society is going to start having issues, both health and mental.
You know, that's interesting, because our soil's been depleted and they stripped out iodine and this and that and everything else from our diet, and we're not getting nowhere near the nutrients that we need to maintain our health. So that makes sense.
No, it's all big pharma, you know. I mean, when you create issues, you have to solve them. And, you know, our medical industry is just that, an industry. It's there to make money,
Yeah.
and you don't make money off of healthy people.
Yeah, that allegedly are never held accountable for anything, especially the vaccination company. Whatever, I don't get into that shit. Yeah, it's just wrong.
I mean, I don't go to a regular doctor hardly at all.
I don't either. You'll see me at the doctor when I'm dead, pretty much.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like, oh, yeah, he's dead. Okay, thanks, Doc. Here's the bill. I love that part. They kill you and they charge you for it. Oh, I wish I could do that.
Right.
Sorry, I fucked up
We're
your
gonna charge
equipment. You
to
need a whole...
diagnose the fact that you're dead.
Yeah. I wish I could do that. Ruin your equipment and charge you for it. That would be such a scam. Oh.
Right.
Yeah, whatever. It all has to change. Hopefully it will. And if it don't, then market will change it unless they pass more laws that make you do stuff like the vaccinations or buy health insurance or whatever it is. Then well, now you're a criminal and you broke the law because you won't do what we told you to do. It's like, really? Okay.
If you notice that the opioid market, we see articles every day now about how the opioid market is suffering due to legalization.
Aw.
Poor babies.
Yeah. Yeah. You mean I can't get heroin anymore? Whatever. Oxycontin,
Right.
all that crap. Fentanyl. What stuff's horrible. It's horrible. It's, oh my God.
Yeah.
I was in treatment with people. I never took heroin. I never will, and I should say never, but I never did. And if I don't think I did by now, I won't. But I've seen people come off that stuff, and it is just fucking horrible.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, most of them relapse and they end up dead from overdoses. It's a horrible drug. Horrible drug.
Yeah. And quite honestly, I have seen many folks who are addicted to drugs get off of them using marijuana.
Well, yeah, that's a step down. They say it's all a leader drug to other things. Well, like when coming off of heroin, when you're under professional care and treatment,
It's an exit drug.
they give you methadone. If you or I took methadone, we'd be higher than a fucking kite. Like, holy shit. So, yeah, it's, I mean, you know what? To each his own. I mean, if people are going to do stuff, and hopefully they don't break the law, and they don't hurt anybody, and they don't lose their job, and blah, 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 who really fucking cares?
The way I look at it is if you are taking care of business, your bills are paid, your kids are taken care of, and you're doing something in your downtime, more power to you, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
As long as you're taking care of business and you're not hurting anybody.
Yeah, you're a productive member of society, and you're just not a piece of crap and a criminal and blah, 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 and whatever. I mean, if you want to hurt yourself, but, I mean, really, who does it really harm except people that are pissed off because you're not buying their expensive drugs that are fucking $1,000 a pill? That's about it.
Exactly. There's a lot of natural remedies out there that'll do the exact same things as all those drugs that we keep putting in our bodies that are man-made.
Well, God forbid I say this, but in my opinion and what I've seen over 30 years, I really truly think, and I'm sorry for people that have lost people to cancer or have it, but I really truly think if there's not a cure for cancer, it's almost there. But I really truly think there is, because it's a lot more profitable to treat people with cancer, as horrible as that sounds, than to cure them.
Well, and a lot, I can tell you that I have witnessed someone who had brain cancer, and they used an all-natural diet, lot of, I can't remember the exact combinations, but it's your darker, your purple veggies, your very dark greens, and various other things. But they cured it.
Yeah.
Dude's still walking around with not even a little bit of cancer in his head.
Yeah, I believe that. I think that's called the Gershon diet or some shit like that. I did some research on this stuff, the juicing thing, and There's a clinic in Mexico where you go there, and Ruth Kasich invented Esiac, which is her name spelled backwards, a Canadian nurse, and her success rate in treating people was like 90%, and they shut her down. So it's like, really?
Well, of course they did. They shut down anything that's natural because they have no control over it.
Well, yeah, because it's natural. Yeah, it's can't make money off of it.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
It's horrible. If that's really, really true, that just really makes me sick. It really does.
Yeah. That's why it's so hard to find the actual combinations that you put together that work. I actually have a document somewhere from the wife of the gentleman that I know, and that has all the detailed instructions and what to eat and all of that.
Well, there's also a device called a multi-wave oscillator that Nikola Tesla came up with, and it would target everything. Has a resonant frequency regardless of what it is, and that includes your whole body, right, organs in your body, yada, yada, yada. And if you could target and find that resonant frequency, which he did, and shoot that energy at the organ, it actually would heal it and kill, I'm not going to say cancer, but kill what's wrong. It would increase your health. And then doctors picked up on it. Of course, never credited Tesla for it, and made great advancements with that. And they shut that down too and said he was a quack. So.
Yep. Well, yeah, because it doesn't benefit the medical industry to have healthy people.
Yeah, I almost bought one of those things for my wife at the time. They were like $5,000, a multi-wave oscillator, and because I just read, she had autoimmune problems too, and that's horrible because the inflammation and the nerves, and she had restless leg syndrome crap and all that stuff. And the funny thing is that when I got her out of Illinois, and the second we landed in Vegas, in the middle of the desert, she felt perfectly fine, and that says a lot for environmental. I don't know what's in the environment, but for the most part, I did witness that. And she was like a totally different person, but she was constantly wincing in pain. But not, I don't know, 1 out of 10 scale, but just enough that it was there and it bothered her, and I could tell just by her face. So.
Yeah, for somebody that lives with pain every day, what would be like a 2 or a 3 to somebody like me or her would be a 7 or 8 to a normal person.
Yeah, because you get acclimated to the pain. So,
yeah.
Your tolerance is way higher.
And as far as the difference that you saw between her up there and in Vegas,
mm-hmm.
The Southwest Desert is a very, very high healing energy level.
Oh, I felt it when I went to Sedona. When I went to Sedona, I couldn't believe the fucking energy I felt there.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. You can literally feel the vibration if you're sensitive enough.
You can in Sedona. I was there a couple years ago, and I'm like, holy shit, wow. Yeah, I felt it.
Yeah, it's amazing. The Earth has a lot of beneficial properties, and that's part of the reason why earthing and being barefoot is healthier, is because you're actually connecting to that energy.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll go that far. I ain't gonna walk around like Fred Flintstone. I don't like people's feet anyway, so I just really want to get into that. But to each his own again. If it knocks your shit out, that's great. I mean, but I have heard the ground.
Even if you just do it privately and go out in the grass and just connect.
But my feet are they're like soft as baby's feet, and mine have been covered for my entire life, and I can't even barely handle walking outside on the sidewalk, let alone anything else. That's how sensitive they are. It's crazy.
Yeah, I was always a barefooter ever since I was a kid. I hated shoes, but a lot of that also has to do with the fact that my feet hurt most of the time. So. Well,
that makes sense. Yeah, see, I got to wear boots all the time just for work. So, I mean, they don't, and then motocross boots, and I've had shoes and cleats, and from football. I've had something on my foot, unless I'm sleeping or taking a bath. I always have something on my feet. So. I know, and I get it, and I am open to it. It's just going to take some time, but I can't stand. I'll walk from if I forget something in my car and I'm barefooted, I won't waste my time putting shit on. But it's like I walk and then the sidewalk's hot and then the parking lot's hot and then I step on little pebbles and I'm like, oh, fuck, motherfucker, shit, fuck this. You know, I just can't, I can't get acclimated to it, man. It's, my feet are that sensitive.
Well, and it takes time. It takes time to build up the thickness on the sole of your foot. So.
Well, there is some interesting things, and then we'll get off it because I got to get out of here pretty quick. But, you know, being barefoot, you can only go so fast, so far on certain terrain, and that's the way the natural process is. But then if you put boots on or gym shoes or whatever, then you can go faster. So there is some type of sense where you're in timing or rhythm with the earth because you're only made to go so fast and so far in certain places because you're barefoot. So, I mean, I kind of get that. And then plus you're grounded, so I get all that.
Yeah, but that's another topic, you know.
I know. We'll get into it some other time. There's another one. Because that's something I'll never do. I don't think it's right. But you know what? Like I said, I'm open-minded enough, and it's the Red Pill Show, so that's what it's all about. Try to think different, and that includes my ass about this being barefoot shit. So, I mean, I don't care. Whatever. I'm not trying to push anything. Sure as hell I ain't trying to sell anything. I mean, you're not going to make any money walking around barefoot. So...
No, definitely. You're not going to be selling any shoes, that's for sure.
Unless you're a doctor, podiatrist, and you step on a big old fucking thorn or some shit or whatever, then you got to go to the doctor. But I think that'll be few and far between. So.
But yeah, we got a lot more to talk about, like as far as like CBD and hemp and all the benefits of that whole industry.
Well, we'll just roll into it tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday already. Can't believe it. This is the first full week back after a holiday, and I thought it was going to drag on, and frickin' tomorrow's Thursday already. It's crazy. So, but we can pick up tomorrow, and if you don't distract me with any more subjects, we can talk about it for the whole show. No, but we'll pick up tomorrow on it wherever you want. We leave off from, and you want to pick up, that's fine. But I learned some stuff, and hopefully some other people did too. But just like anything, I think somebody should get all the information they can from all different sources that are unbiased, and then make your own decision. That's what I think people should do. That's what I did. So, whoop! I think I just lost Melissa. All right, so I'm gonna go. I gotta go anyway. Time to make the donuts. She called back. I guess I can say goodbye. How do I answer? How do I answer it? How do I answer it? Hello? I missed her. Shit. Anyway, I got to go to work. So thanks for listening to the show. Thanks to Melissa. Very interesting. And we'll pick up on hemp and marijuana tomorrow. Okay, man? So far out. So thanks for listening to the Red Pill Show. Original Red Pill Show, man. On Freedom Revolution Network. Have a great day. Goodbye.